In a world saturated with sparkly vampires and brooding werewolves, you probably thought you'd seen it all in the realm of supernatural teen romance. But buckle up, Buttercup, because in 2010, we got Let Me In. Because apparently, the only thing scarier than middle school is, well, a preteen vampire. Because, why not? From the studio that brought you such cinematic masterpieces as, well, they made this one comes a remake of a Swedish movie. Because Hollywood loves nothing more than taking something perfectly good and Americanizing it. Which, in this case, mostly involves swapping subtitles for slightly more expensive special effects. Because, America. So, get ready to meet Owen. Our pint-sized protagonist, a 12-year-old social outcast who makes Wednesday Addams look like the prom queen. He's got the whole package, perpetually bullied, emotionally neglected, and sporting a haircut that screams, "I haven't seen sunlight in days." Seriously, kid, get some vitamin D. And maybe a new barber. His life is a bleak landscape of frozen loneliness, punctuated only by the occasional snowball to the face. Ah, middle school. A magical time. Enter Abby, the new girl next door, who just so happens to be, wait for it, a centuries-old vampire trapped in the body of a 12-year-old. Because, of course she is. Because what this movie really needed was another layer of deeply unsettling subtext. It's like they took all the awkwardness of adolescence and then added several gallons of blood and a dash of immortal angst. Delicious. Now, you might be thinking, a child vampire? That sounds a little messed up. And you wouldn't be wrong. But hey, at least they're not sparkly, right? Progress. Sort of. The film tries to play it all straight-faced, treating this bizarre premise with the utmost seriousness. Which, honestly, just makes the whole thing even funnier. Abby, despite her pint-sized frame, is a stone-cold killer. She's been around for centuries, racking up a body count that would make Genghis Khan blush. But, you know, she's also really lonely. Because, apparently, centuries of murdering people can put a damper on your social life. Who knew? So, Owen and Abby form an unlikely friendship. He's drawn to her mysterious aura and her ability to, you know, stand up to bullies. She's drawn to his, well, his blood mostly, but also his naivete. It's a classic tale of boy meets girl. Girl is a blood-sucking monster. Boy helps her dispose of bodies. You know, typical preteen stuff. The film tries to frame their relationship as some kind of poignant exploration of loneliness and alienation. Which, okay, fine. But it's hard to take it too seriously when the girl is literally drinking people's blood. It's like trying to have a deep conversation about existentialism while someone's juggling chainsaws. Distracting, to say the least. And let's talk about the bullies. Because every coming-of-age story needs a good set of bullies, right? These guys are your standard-issue middle school tormentors. They're mean, they're petty, and they're surprisingly resourceful when it comes to finding new and creative ways to humiliate Owen. Seriously, these kids are like bullying ninjas. They could probably teach a masterclass in psychological warfare. But, of course, they messed with the wrong vampire's friend, acquaintance, snack provider, whatever. Let's just say, things don't end well for them. And by not well, I mean gruesomely murdered. Because, remember, Abby is a centuries-old vampire. She doesn't play games. She just eliminates the competition permanently. The film tries to build suspense around these scenes, but honestly, it's not much of a contest. It's like watching a kitten try to fight a grizzly bear. We all know how it's going to end. Spoiler alert, the bear wins. In this case, the bear is a 5'0" vampire girl, and the kittens are a bunch of hormonal middle schoolers. Now you might be thinking, isn't this movie supposed to be scary? And well, it tries. It throws in some jump scares, some creepy visuals, and a whole lot of blood. But honestly, the most disturbing thing about the whole movie is the implications of the relationship between Owen and Abby. It's just weird. On a fundamental level. The film also suffers from some pacing issues. It's slow. Really slow. It spends a lot of time dwelling on Owen's loneliness and Abby's angst. Which, again, fine. But it could have used a little more. Something. Maybe some more vampire action? Or maybe just a little less brooding. And let's not forget the adults. Because, as always, the adults in this movie are completely clueless. Owen's mom is barely present, seemingly more concerned with her own problems than her son's. Which, to be fair, is probably realistic. But it doesn't make for particularly compelling storytelling. And the police? They're about as effective as you'd expect. Which is to say, not at all. People are turning up dead, drained of blood, and they're scratching their heads like, must be a raccoon. Sure, guys. Raccoons. The scourge of suburban America. So, what's the takeaway here? Let Me In is a weird movie. It's a dark, moody, and often disturbing film that tries to blend horror with coming-of-age drama. And it kind of works? Sort of. It's definitely not a feel-good movie, but it's also not entirely terrible. It's just strange. It's a film that raises a lot of questions. Like, how does a centuries-old vampire maintain a preteen physique? Does she have some kind of magical anti-aging cream? And how does she manage to kill so many people without attracting any attention? Seriously, the police in this town are either incredibly incompetent or incredibly corrupt. But despite its flaws, Let Me In has a certain charm. A morbid charm, perhaps. It's a film that's both unsettling and strangely compelling. It's a film that will leave you wondering, what did I just watch? And also, should I maybe invest in some garlic? So, if you're looking for a vampire movie that's a little different, a little darker, and a whole lot weirder, then Let Me In might be just what you're looking for. Just don't expect any sparkly vampires. Or any easy answers. Just a whole lot of blood, angst, and awkward preteen romance. You've been warned.